There's something about marriage that God instituted. There's something so powerful that God gives a grace in marriage. There's a grace together that's hard to put into words. I now pronounce you husband and wife. Jed, you may kiss your bride.
Hey guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a great day. I have been having a day, and I was watching my YouTube and I noticed that there was a brand new video on the photographer or the videographer for Jed Duggar's wedding. So remember the jetting? We had the jetting dance, this thing, you know. Yeah, we had some fun. We listened in, we talked play by play. We went through and listened to their wedding vows. We talked about what her dad said. There was discussion about what the bridesmaids were wearing. We were really surprised with this wedding because, one, they had never been public with this. They had kept the whole thing private. We didn't even know that they were like in a relationship until they actually got married, like officially. Like, we knew that they were in a relationship. We knew that they were engaged. We had that person that I know, that's my source, that gave me the wedding invite and basically allowed me to attend the wedding with them. And I'm sitting here going, wow, this is wild. Like, they got married. And then we all were like wondering, like, is it going to come out on, you know, Counting On? Was there filming there? What happened? And like, people at the wedding said that there was no cameras. TLC was not there. So then we all started thinking, okay, if TLC's not there, maybe the show is over. Well, now that TLC has canceled the show, suddenly Jetting's wedding is posted on the wedding videographer's YouTube page. So the wedding videographer published everything earlier today, and I noticed a couple things in the wedding material that made me kind of scratch my head. And I remember at the time wondering, like, would I see any videos of these specific people? Would we ever know if they were there? What's going on here? So on the day of the wedding, it was in April, and it was like out in Arkansas. I don't know where it was. There was a cow pasture out there. There was literally like cows walking around in their wedding while they were doing their vows.
Lord, they love each other. They love their families. Lord, they love your word. Lord, would you bless this home? Lord, would you help them to continue to grow closer to you?
And, you know, one of the things that we thought was really weird was like there was no Jessa, like no Jessa at all. Jessa was not there. So I started looking through the video and I was like, I don't see Jessa in any of these photos. And then when they panned out and did a whole photo of like the whole family, Jessa wasn't there, nor was Jana. Not there, and Jessa is not there. Jana's not in any photos. She's not in the seats. In fact, sitting with the family, the only sister I actually saw was Jill and Derek. And let's just say that Jill and Derek did not look super happy at all when they were doing wedding photography, like they did the whole family. There was another aspect that people were wondering, like, was Josh there? We already knew Josh was there because the wedding photographer put out a sneak peek of pictures and we could see that Josh was clearly there. But the wedding videographer attempted to hide him, but it's clear he was there. He was sitting in the audience, and one of his boys was in the wedding as well. So one of his boys was in the wedding. Josh was there. Anna was there. Something I didn't realize was that Ginger was a bridesmaid. I had no idea that she was that close to Jed, but it makes sense. They're not that far apart in age. And then I started like going, okay, where's Jana? Well, something weird I noticed as they're walking down the aisle. So Jed Duggar is not, he's kind of friends with the son of the guardians of Josh Duggar. So Josh Duggar's guardians were at his wedding. So as you're walking down the aisle, and every time a new couple walks down the aisle, you notice that LeCount and Maria are in the back. And then in another section of the video, when Miss Katie is talking to a bunch of her friends, you can see that Hannah Reber is there as well. So Hannah, LeCount, and her mom Maria are all at this wedding. Another weird thing I noticed was that the Wisman family was there. Remember, we were kind of piecing together that we thought they were at the wedding. They were at the wedding, and Stephen was there. Hannah was there. I saw her dad there, and every time we walked down the aisle, I again saw Stephen. No Jana in sight. So I'm like, well, why isn't Jana in any of these photos? Why isn't Jessa in any of these photos? This is super weird. And then when you finally get to the wedding photo with everyone in there, no Jessa, no Jana, and Jill and Derek look super irritated, and so does Lauren. But Lauren actually helped get the girls ready. As I'm trying to piece this all together, it looks like some of the Bates family was there. There was the Wisman family was there, but MIA with their sisters. So I'm not sure if Ben and Jessa couldn't come, if there was something going on with the kids, if they were there but just off camera. But you would have thought they would have been there at least in the photo with the family, or same with Jana, okay? So some of the sisters aren't at the wedding, and then they have a lot of groomsmen, not Josh. Josh is not as a groomsman at all in this wedding. And I don't know if they were actually drinking wine, but they did a communion, which is not traditionally like a thing in these kinds of weddings. And there was a glass of what appeared to be wine. It could have just been grape juice, but they took hosts for the communion, and then they both took a sip from the wine glass. And it was literally in a wine glass. So that made me wonder, like, are they drinking wine here? Are they wine drinkers? There was some speeches that were done at the wedding. Obviously, Jeremiah gave a speech, and her sister gave a speech. The wedding looked to be absolutely gorgeous. I'm not lying. Like, they had food, and they had cake, and they ran off in an old car. Lots of kissing in the video. But I'm left a little bit perplexed. One, where are Jessa and Jana? Why aren't they at the wedding? And then two, LeCount and Maria Reber are there. Josh is there. They're trying to like make it seem like he's not there. And Jed and Katie are drinking wine, maybe, at the wedding. Then there's the whole dad speech. Oh, and then they barely put in Katie's brother. So remember, we were talking about how the family was trying to, like, we were going to wonder, like, how they would treat his family. Like, would they be nice to his brother, her brother, because her brother is part of the LGBTQ+. He is out. And so we were wondering, like, would he be accepted? What would they do? How would they treat him? I noticed that he was shown very, very briefly, like a millisecond. You could barely even see him in the video. So her brother is kind of like left at the cutting room floor. They kind of tried to leave Josh at the cutting room floor. And the rest is just makes no sense to me. Why would Jessa and Jana not be anywhere in the wedding? Unless they're the ones organizing it? I mean, you guys, I looked at a million clips and I couldn't see them anywhere in the audience. I couldn't see them anywhere in the photos. All the brothers were there, but two sisters are nowhere to be seen. And lots of kissing. We saw their first kiss. Katie's dad's speech about being a 13-year-old and saying that he could pick her as husband. There was the wedding vows, which were kind of odd. All in all, the wedding was beautiful. Katie looked gorgeous. It looks like it was a really nice event. Obviously, this was at the height of the pandemic where there was not a lot of vaccines in this area and no masks being worn, but I wouldn't really have expected anything less from this family. And then my only other weirdness was that Jim Bob Duggar did not walk Jed down the aisle. He was like walking behind Jed and Michelle. So, and then he did like this really weird, like he was like shaking hands as he's walking down the aisle, and he was just like, hey, used car salesman guy. It was so bizarre. So Jim Bob was acting weird. A couple of the sisters were missing, and they're drinking wine. And Ginger showed off her shoulders. So there was a lot of rules broken at this wedding. What do you think about all of this? Why were the Reibers there? Do you think Katie's friends with the Reibers? I think Jed might be friends with the son. I think he might be friends with the Reibers' son. But again, isn't it odd that they're at the wedding and then they're suddenly like a couple weeks later taking Josh in? Do you think they had any clue that this was coming? Do you think they prearranged this and were like getting chummy with the Reibers beforehand? Or do you think like it just sort of happenstance? Tell me what your thoughts are about all of this in the comments below. Bye, guys.